Over the past 48 hours, the Pentagon says President Putin has been ramping up his firepower and military capabilities on Ukraine's doorstep.
It's infantry, it's armor, it's artillery, it's air and missile defense, as well as offensive air. I mean, he's got a lot of combat aircraft now. In terms of the menu of options, he continues to add to that across the whole spectrum of military capabilities.
Russia continues to conduct massive military exercises in Belarus. That country is a close Russian ally that borders Ukraine and is within close striking distance of Kyiv. This video shows from the Kremlin shows Russian Marines doing an urban combat drill. In Ukraine, a special forces unit training civilians, including children and a great-grandmother, how to assemble guns, load ammo, and aim at targets in case there's a Russian attack. According to a U.S. intelligence and military assessment, if Russia does decide to launch a full-scale invasion, Russian tanks could reach the Ukrainian capital in just 48 hours. Retired four-star Air Force General Philip Breedlove now, former Supreme Allied Commander of NATO. General, as always, thank you. Is enough being done now to deter Russia?
Shep, that remains to be seen. We have been in a period of what I would describe as relatively benign deterrence, in passive deterrence. Sort of, if they do this, then we do this. If they do this, we do that. And just recently, we've moved into a little more active deterrence. We're moving some forces around, et cetera. But right now, what we do know is Mr. Putin has several tools, and they are ready.
Is the U.S. closing the embassy in Kyiv and moving personnel to the west, to Lviv? Is that move essentially giving Putin's Ukraine's capital city?
Well, I don't think it's that strong a signal. I think if, not to drag up a bad story, but if you looked at the withdrawal from Afghanistan, I think we're being very cautious now. And if you've ever been to Lviv, it's very close to the Polish border. So it provides lots of ability to move across that border should it ever be required. But I don't believe that we're going to see Russian forces that far west.
If Russia does invade, how concerned are you about getting information out of there? I mean, there are no troops on the ground, potential cyber attacks knocking out power and communications. Well, are we going to be blind in some ways?
Well, it will be confusing for sure. If we look at what happened when Russia invaded and occupied Crimea, they literally cut the military garrisons in Crimea off completely from the capital. And so we know that they have the electronic warfare and other capabilities to cause this kind of confusion. So we will see a confused climate and sort of confused communications, et cetera. And we will not have the typical access to a clear picture that we normally do.
Well, General, thank you for your time. We'll wait to see what happens.